too much, but throw it in there, see what they think. So, yeah.
I'd like to call the order, the New Palestine Redevelopment Commission at 6 o'clock on December 3rd, 2025. Can we start with the roll call, please?
Yes. Dr. Fleet,
Here.
Tony Meyer,
Here.
Sue Brandon,
Here.
Rachel Strong,
Here.
and Tim Mason.
Here.
Mark Looney is absent.
Thank you. Next order of business, start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. You can stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next on our agenda will be old business, and I'd like to ask the commission members if they've had a chance to read the minutes from November 5th, 2025. Yes, we're good. All right, do we have any changes or corrections that we need to make or updates? If not, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from November 5th, 2025?
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All right, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed state nay. All right, motion carries. Thank you. Next will be new business. And we'll start off with the resolution 120325, the confirmatory resolution for the allocation area and economic development plan for the Kroger project. Mr. Bosman.
Good evening, Brian Bosman with the law firm of Kroger, Gardas, and Regas. Happy to be with you this evening. November 5th, we were together, and the commission adopted a declaratory resolution making some changes in your allocation areas in your economic development areas. And tonight, after a hearing, public hearing that's been advertised, you will hopefully adopt the confirmatory resolution confirming what you did previously. So I'm going to walk you through the attachments first, because these kind of tell the story of what's going on here. So the attachment A, the two parcels to the east, the 6.59 acre Bakovic parcel and the 1.030 acre right-of-way where Leon Lane is today are being added to what we're calling the Hancock Regional Hospital Economic Development Area. And then those two parcels and the 7.72 acre parcel, which is currently in the HRH allocation area, are being pulled together to make just over a 15.2 acre allocation area that's been named the Kroger allocation area. The next exhibit shows that Kroger allocation area, which is the anticipated site of a Kroger retail facility. The next attachment shows the improvements that will be facilitated by an economic development bond issue and loan to Hancock Regional Hospital that was approved by the Economic Development Commission about an hour ago. It will fund the demolition of Leon Lane and the vacation of that right-of-way. It will finance the construction of a new street and utility extension to the north, and then traffic signage and lighting, other infrastructure improvements on the site itself at an estimated cost of $1.279495 on the engineer's estimate of probable cost attached to that. So resolution 120325A confirms the findings that you made in the declaratory resolution last month, including the suitability of the project, that it comports to the plans for the town, and the other findings therein. Happy to answer any questions. Mr. Harold Gibson is here from the hospital. Be happy to answer any questions that you have. May have something to say as well. Didn't at the last one. We'll see if he does that. I'm making you get up.
Fine. Happy to get up. Happy to get up. Good evening, Harold Gibson with Hancock Regional Hospital, Director of Property Development. We're pleased to be here again tonight and thank you all for the opportunity to share with you the continued efforts that we all have to bring Kroger to town. We continue to have dialogue with Kroger, and that continues to move along, and they're in their planning process and designing process, and we think this is really a better plan, as we mentioned to you a month ago. I think this works out economically for everybody, for whatever reason that is, but we're happy to make the improvements that are going to be necessary. In our vision in 2019, we couldn't have envisioned what we have here tonight. We didn't expect to have a Kroger shopping center here, so it is necessary to make some changes, and we're happy to make those changes with your support. We are giving up a big piece of our 2020 bond when we look at this tax increment, but by the virtue of how council's been able to work out the documents, this will help us soften that risk. Hopefully it works out where we do get that economic bond paid off in total, but only with economic development does that happen. And we're happy to say that since the word's gotten out that Kroger's coming to town, that we've gotten an increase in interest in our property along 600 West. And as we've said before, that's the whole purpose of you issuing an economic development bond, is for economic development. I've heard of some rumors of some other things in the area, so hopefully that's all for the good. But we appreciate your support. We continue to value our partnership greatly, and thank you very much, and happy to answer any questions that you have.
Harold, so assuming all the things get passed tonight, then what's the next steps in the timeline for the process, for the
Great question.
project?
Happy to give you my best guess. We were on the phone call today with Kroger and their staff and their engineers, and we have it planned right now that we would like to submit for the unit development amendment sometime mid-January. So there's a lot that goes into that, as you all know. We came before you with an amendment for the fuel center, and it was several pages long. And I would have to say there was a lot of stress of those last few days and changes in that as we were trying to negotiate with Kroger what that was going to look like. With this time, we have a little chance to slow that down, make sure we do dot every I and cross every T. Kroger said they'll commit to the same architectural standards. So we now have to look at that unit development plan and say, well, we had approval for a fuel center, but now we have a shopping center that's 100,000 square feet, 99,000, and our UDP didn't allow for that. I think 50,000 was the max because we just didn't have an approval. Therefore, why we're buying some ground from Mr. Potovic and expanding that. So we'll work on the text amendment, and their concept plan will continue to be tweaked and plan to file for a unit development plan and be in front of the Planning Commission and Council February. And then Kroger will have to file a detailed unit development plan, which will be all of their plans. We never got to that point with the adjacent ground. So I would say you could see Kroger with detailed plans sometimes May or June for the detailed plans.
Thank you.
We still are working through the stoplight issue with NDOT. That's been more of a challenge than we expected. NDOT is very peculiar in their standards for where and when a traffic light can go in. And I mean, they have safety of the public on their side that they need to be concerned about, and we get that, right? So I don't want that job. But a traffic light just can't go in because we all want a traffic light. It has to warrant it. So that's what we're dealing with right now is when does the traffic warrant a stoplight? And we're feeding them data, best guesses as to when Mr. Kovic's project's going in, best guesses to when our retail center will open, best guesses whenever we would add people in our 24,000 square feet we have upstairs and our wellness. So a lot's going into that, so we're still needing that answer.
Right. And so based on that timeline, would we anticipate a potential groundbreaking in the fall of 26 or probably into 27 at this point?
It looks like it's going to be the latter of that, not 26, because right now the closing, the way we're talking about, is end of 26, Kroger, one of the things, if we recall, and I'm sure they'll probably be able to tell you that when they get here, but the bond that we were talking about before was not approved because financially it wasn't going to work for Kroger with all the other things. So they have different layers, many layers of approvals they have to go through. And one of them is that it has to pencil up, as we now say, and make sense financially. So they're a little concerned about how that looks on paper, so they backed off a little bit as far as timing. So I don't think you'll see it open, I don't think you'll see it groundbreaking in 26. Let's hope we see it in 27 is what I hope that we hear him say.
Okay.
Anything else?
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Gibson.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Bosman mentioned a public hearing, so I'd love to adjourn.
I think it's appropriate now. It should be appropriate to open a public hearing.
Okay. So I think the one way to do that is, do we have a motion to close the redevelopment commission?
You can just
Or go right ahead. You just pull it here.
state the time for the record. You can just state the time for the record that you open it, and then state the time that you close it as well.
Okay. So let's go ahead and open the open for public discussion.
Public hearing.
Public hearing.
Public
Yeah,
hearing.
public hearing, excuse me. Thank you. Give everyone up to at 6:12 on December 5th, 2025, and we'll limit the comments from the public for 3 minutes each. But if you have something to say, please come up to the podium, state your name, your address, and please provide your comments. Do we have any comments? Anyone from the audience for the? All right, we'll close the public session at, we'll go ahead and say 6:13. And then we'll go into the next resolution. Should we vote on this then?
Yes.
Vote on the second one. So do we have a motion to approve resolution number 1203258?
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 1203258 with the revised attachments.
I'll second that.
All right, thank you. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed state nay. All right, motion carries. Thank you. Next on our agenda is the resolution number 1203255B, pledging the tax increment financing for the 2025 further bond. We have Mr. Bosman.
Thank you,
Please.
Mr. President, members of the commission. So this is a pledge resolution authorizing the pledge of the tax increment from the Kroger allocation area to not just the 2026 bond, but the 2020 bonds also. There's a little twist to this, and hence the multiple attachments that you received. And I apologize for that. The last one was my fault because I didn't attach the very last draft to the last attachment. So the resolution has not changed at all. Still reads as you reviewed it. The draft pledge agreement, however, makes it abundantly clear that the Kroger allocation tax increment will be used first to pay the 2020, Section 2020 bonds, and either on an annual basis if there's more pledge revenue than necessary, or upon retirement, maturity, or defeasance of the 2020 bonds, the Kroger allocation tax increment will go towards the 2026 bonds. That was the request of Hancock Regional Hospital. I just heard about that for the first time yesterday, so that's what started the flow of emails to you. So happy to answer any questions. The correct attachment is on the execution copies that Jenny has for you. Okay? So there's just a little revision to what is to your attachment, plus eagle-eye member of the commission caught another typo that we'll fix. Happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Bosma, I see in the resolution, it clearly states that 75% of the revenues of a pledged increment for the describes how those are allocated. Does it say, or does it need to say where the other 25% go? Which I'm assuming that's through the RDC.
It does. It goes to the RDC, and the financing agreement, other agreements, and the resolution clearly state that can be used by the RDC by any means.
Okay, thank you.
They say. And then you also will receive 50% if it's ever generated. Sorry, not 50%. $50,000 of the tax increment that is in the remaining HRH allocation.
Thank you.
That's what we currently receive, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So it's currently being generated. That doesn't change, right?
I don't know. I've not seen the projection on that. Shouldn't. I will check what's happening.
change from what's existing.
Right. So we would see the 50,000 plus the 25%
Yes.
of the Kroger allocation
when that is generated.
when that's generated. Okay.
I'll make a motion.
You had that public comments on this? No, okay.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 12032B, 325B with the revised attachments.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, state nay. All right, motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Next item we have is discussion of funding for the town center project. Can I ask Ethan to explain a little bit what we're talking about there?
Yeah, and in conversations the council has had with Envoy and other parties that we've been using for consultation, kind of one of the next steps that the town needs to take is a master plan process for the town center project. Basically, it helps us understand where things are going, logistically, how we can see traffic flow and the needs that are going to be in that area. And we have a kind of an initial quote from Ratio, a company that we'd like to enter into. We have not entered into it yet, but we do recognize that that's going to be about $100,000 process. And so in conversations with other council members and Envoy, who is our owner's representative right now, our legal counsel, and our financial counsel, one of the options is to say, hey, this seems like it's exactly what RDC funds are set aside for, to help generate some of that redevelopment or economic development, sidewalks, plans for those to get from one end to the other end of the town, which I know is something we've been talking about. All of this can happen through the generation and the project of the town center. And so one of the things that the council would like to suggest is maybe this commission look at using some of our RDC funds to help offset the cost of that master planning process.
Has there been a suggested amount of money that or percent that you're looking for from the RDC?
I think I'd like it at 50% if that's possible. Right now I know we're getting a little bit more funds at the end of this year. Is that correct, Yvonne, from RDC? But we have about 100,000 right now.
I haven't looked into that, to be honest with you. I've been on vacation for 3 weeks.
Based on the recent numbers I've gotten, I was just giving you, but the person behind you, the recent numbers that I've gotten is 100,000, where we currently are about 103,000, with more funds coming before the end of the year. This $50,000 would not be spent all at once either. It would be, stair stepped in as the work gets completed.
You will be getting $25,000 in December.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't see an issue with anyone else. Commissioner
We're
comments?
talking about the property south of 52 that
It's actually north and south of 52,
North and south,
right,
but
right
yes, yeah.
west of the Lions
Yeah.
Club area. Yes.
And I'll state for the record, because with the new town center project, one of the important portions to me is sidewalks. And, you know, I've said from day one that the RDC should connect one end of town to the other with sidewalks. We have done some smaller projects because, you know, we can't afford to do the sidewalks, you know, all of what would be required. This is a fantastic location, and as Ethan mentioned, not only does it provide sidewalks, but the town center project as a whole will become a hub of activity. There'll be a park, there'll be an amphitheater, some kind of a concert venue. I mean, it will be a great recreational use for people in New Palestine and surrounding areas. So because of that, I'm certainly in favor of the RDC pledging 50% of the cost for the master plan.
Comments, Rachel? Okay. So are you looking for a commitment at this point, or just a verbal agreement that we will support?
I think that if we can have a commitment, that helps us know how best to move forward in that. I'm not saying that that money gets spent tomorrow. There's some steps that council needs to take, but knowing that we have the funds to be able to spend as we move forward would be helpful.
Is that at all affected by the spending plan we did last month? Is there room? You get where I'm going down that?
Yeah, I don't know if there was a line item that this would fall under, but we're obviously able to revise that,
Okay.
that
Well, I
document.
just didn't know if we needed to.
And all we really
do
did was,
this.
when we submitted that plan to the, or filed that, it was a total amount. It wasn't a
Right.
line item detailed.
Okay.
So I think we have room there, and I did confirm with council earlier before the meeting that this is a viable place that we could spend the money from the RDC. So we're not in violation of any rules or regulations in that regard. So do we need to vote on this, or how do you want to proceed with that?
Yeah, I would. I'd be willing to offer a motion that the RDC allocate. I would go ahead and put $50,000 on it. So 50% is kind of a non-defined number. So let's make it $50,000.
Okay.
We have the quote from Ratio, and it's maybe a touch over 100, but $50,000 would be greatly appreciated towards the master planning of the future town center.
Do we have a second motion?
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed state nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was the last item on our agenda, but I did want to bring up one other item. We need to set schedule for next year. And I know that our positions end at the end of January of 2025. I don't know when we should have, if we're looking at having a reorganization meeting in January, or should we move that to February? I'm not sure how that's the best place to put that. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I would think January.
All right, so how about the third Wednesday in January? I'll get my calendar up here.
21st.
Pardon?
21st.
21st?
I don't have a crystal ball, but I would anticipate that the current members of the RDC would be reappointed so that there won't be any changes, but that's just,
Or we still need to
Yes.
go to
we have to, and I would assume at least the appointments themselves can be made this month so that come January, that whoever is appointed would take oath and assume those positions.
Out of curiosity, considering the council has to make those appointments, can the council make those without our reorganization first?
I think they have to, because otherwise you don't know who is reorganized.
Okay. I just chicken and egg. Just want to make sure.
Let's go with the chicken.
That's fine. That's fine.
And at this point, we'll schedule that for 6 o'clock on the 21st of January.
Okay.
Time subject to change if we have other things going on or other conditions. Need that time slot. We can be flexible on that. And then March, let's go third week in April, so that would be the 15th.
Tax day.
And then, and a third week in July. Which would be, is that right, the 15th as well?
Yeah.
And I know we will need one in at least by November, because we'll have the spending plan that we'll have to submit, so we'll need to vote on that. So let's go the 18th of November, which would be the third Wednesday.
And they're all 6, correct?
Pardon?
All 6 o'clock.
At 6 o'clock, yes, that's for all.
Job.
Thanks,
Thank
Steve.
you, that makes it pretty easy, and obviously it's subject to change as needed. Any other comments from the commission?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
All right. All, have a second? All right, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed state nay. Motion carries. Thank you very much, and